The text came while I was knee-deep in mud, boots sinking with every step. Foreclosure approved. Auction scheduled for Friday. No hello. No explanation. Just that line, cold as the early morning air. My lawyer's name sat below it like a bruise I didn't want to touch. I stared at the screen until it dimmed, my hands shaking, not from the cold, but from the sudden understanding that everything I'd built was about to be stripped away. I thought the worst pain would be losing the farm. I was wrong. Marcus showed up that afternoon with the court order folded neatly in his coat pocket, like a trophy. He didn't even look embarrassed. He stood at the edge of the field, shoes clean, eyes sharp. Farm foreclosure approved, he announced. Should have paid back on time. He was my wife's cousin. Or at least that's what I still believed then. I nodded like I accepted it. Like my chest wasn't collapsing inward. Like my wife, Elena, hadn't been distant for months, working late, locking her phone, smiling at texts she wouldn't explain. I told myself it was stress. Money does that to people. I wanted to believe that. That night, Elena barely spoke. She picked at her food, avoided my eyes. When I asked if she was okay, she said, "Just tired." Same answer she'd been giving me for weeks. Later, when she fell asleep, her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I didn't pick it up right away. I stared at it, my heart pounding like it already knew what my hands didn't want to confirm. When I finally looked, the screen lit up with a preview. Friday will finally end this. I'll be there. From Marcus. I scrolled. I shouldn't have, but I did. Messages stacked back months. Hotel receipts. Late-night jokes. Complaints about me. How I was too proud. How the farm was dead weight. How I'd never change. The room felt smaller. The air thicker. My ears rang. Every memory rewound itself in my head. Elena canceling dates, Marcus helping with finances, the way she'd flinch when I touched her, like I was a stranger in my own bed. I'd blamed myself. I always did. The auction came fast. Too fast. The courthouse smelled like old paper and disinfectant. Wooden benches. Murmurs. I sat alone while Marcus stood near the front, confident, relaxed. Elena arrived late, eyes red, makeup rushed. She didn't sit beside me. When the clerk began reading details, my lawyer leaned in and whispered, "There's something you need to hear." The debt wasn't sold to the bank. It was sold privately. To Marcus. The room tilted. Suddenly everything made sense. The pressure, the timing, the cruelty of that text. He hadn't just watched us drown. He'd pushed our heads under. And Elena had known. When the clerk mentioned a conflict of interest investigation, anonymous tips submitted weeks earlier, Marcus's face tightened. He looked around like someone had just called his name in a dark room. The evidence came out slowly. Transfers. Messages. Proof of their relationship tied directly to the foreclosure deal. Elena started crying before anyone said the word affair. Outside, the air felt sharp, like it could cut skin. I stood by the courthouse steps while Elena followed me, sobbing, reaching for my arm. "I didn't mean for it to go this far," she said. "I thought it would just reset things. Give us a chance." "With him?" I asked quietly. She didn't answer. Marcus avoided my eyes as investigators pulled him aside. For the first time, he looked small. That night, Elena packed a bag. Not because I told her to, because there was nothing left to say. Love doesn't survive when it's sold piece by piece behind your back. The farm didn't sell that day. The auction was frozen pending investigation. But something else was lost permanently. Trust doesn't come back with paperwork. Weeks later, I stood alone in the field again. Same mud. Same sky. But I felt different, emptier, and somehow stronger. I'd learned the hardest lesson of my life. Betrayal doesn't always arrive loud. Sometimes it comes quietly, dressed as help, smiling while it tightens the rope. I don't know what the future holds. I only know this. I lost a marriage that day. I nearly lost my land. But I didn't lose myself. And that, in the end, was the only thing worth saving.